What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining me here on this Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 is when I am recording this. I don't have a script for this video. I'm just going to be shooting from the hip. I want to talk a little bit about WrestlePalooza. I want to talk a little bit about how that show went and where WWE's pay-per-views are currently at. And or PLEs, if you want to talk, if you want to be specific, if you want to play semantics, sure, PLEs. Where are they at? Well, WrestlePalooza was a 5-match card, and it was a 5-match card just like the rest of WWE's pay-per-views, which has watered down and diluted WWE's pay-per-views in 2025, and really that's a trend that we've only seen affect WWE's pay-per-views in 2025. We haven't really seen it affect WWE much before 2025, like maybe marginally, but not to this extent, not to the extent that we saw at WrestlePalooza. Now, WrestlePalooza, it felt kind of lifeless, if I'm honest. It felt kind of bare. It felt kind of like it was lacking vibrancy, and it felt soulless. It really did. Now, I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia really quickly for this card, all right? I have the Wikipedia pulled up on my phone here, and we're going to hop into kind of match by match what happened and what made this show feel so lifeless, so soulless. What went into that vibe? What went into that energy? And I touched on the 5-match card problem. That's been a problem all year. It's really affected what we've been seeing from WWE on a pay-per-view level. And honestly, it's even more of a problem now because you're asking fans to pay $30 for something that they otherwise would have been paying $10 for. $30 is an insane over ask for 5 wrestling matches. Okay, that is preposterous. That is offensive that they think 5 matches is worth $30. And specifically these 5 matches. Now, if you're going to show me WrestleMania 17 or if you're going to show me, a Nippon Budokan show, then okay, that's fine. 5 matches, sure, I'll pay $30. But this is WrestlePalooza. We're not talking about WrestleMania 17. Let's hop into this. All right, we started with Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena in 8 minutes, 50 seconds. I don't quite get what the logic was in even bringing back Brock Lesnar other than, hey, let's pop a rating. Let's get people talking on social media. I really don't understand what the thinking was behind that. But, hey, Brock Lesnar beat John Cena. Now, it is reported that John Cena, as of the morning of the show, he was meant to win. I don't deny that. That doesn't shock me. But I still feel the same. This was a waste of John Cena's time. This was a waste of his final run. And I'm honestly glad they're not going to do another match. I'm glad this was the final match. I don't need to see them wrestle again. But the fact that they're not doing a final match and the fact that they were just leaving it on this note that John Cena is just losing to Brock and that's that, it speaks more to Triple H's incompetency as a booker than it does anything else. Because one, it's John Cena, it's his final run, it's Brock Lesnar. You'd think, oh, we're just going to have the face go over and it's going to be a triumphant celebration and it's all going to be good. You would think that would be the logic here, but it wasn't. Instead, the logic is, let's have Brock Lesnar go over and let's probably continue to involve Brock Lesnar with the Vision, maybe in War Games, maybe down the line, because he's obviously getting closer and closer to Paul Heyman. That is stupid to me. That makes no sense to me. So it speaks more to Triple H's incompetency as a booker than it does anything else. Disappointing match, no direction, really, no focus to the match. But it ended in 8 minutes, or actually 9 minutes. And they won't face again. Thank the Lord. John Cena is going to be facing AJ Styles at Crown Jewel, which is just a night and day difference when it comes to quality. Okay. The next match that we saw was the Vision, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker with Paul Heyman versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. This match was kind of all right. Now I watched All Out for the afternoon, and when I switched over, I saw about half of this match. I switched over during this match, and on the pre-show, LA Knight was made the special guest referee. This match went 17-12, and the Vision won. This match was okay. I'm not going to speak too much on it because I didn't see it in full. I tuned in halfway through, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I saw the whole thing. From what I saw, it was fine. It wasn't incredible, but not amazing. Not amazing at all. Definitely something that was missing a few dimensions, if you ask me. Kind of contributed to the soulless feeling. Again, I've spoken about it before on this channel. The Vision, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, their presentation has been absolutely botched. And this was just another example of it. They don't really come across as all too intimidating or threatening or special. They don't come across as like the next big things. They just come across as two generic heels sometimes. Next match, we saw Stephanie Vaquer defeat Io Sky in a singles match for the vacant WWE Women's World Championship. This match went 21-11. No, excuse me. This match went 20-11. I misspoke there. And we saw Stephanie Vaquer get crowned champion. This match was incredible. This match was tremendous. These two women are just supremely talented. They are supremely great at what they do. And I was honestly thinking this match could go two ways. So I was thinking either, okay, Stephanie Vaquer is going to win, and they're going to crown her, and that's going to be that. Or Io's going to win, and they're going to make Io and Asuka, they're going to turn that into a title program. Now they opted for the former, but it really wouldn't have shocked me if they went for the latter, which was Io Sky winning the belt and them doing Io and Asuka and that becoming a world title program. That would not have shocked me in the slightest. Nonetheless, I was very, very pleasantly surprised to see Stephanie Vaquer win this title here. It felt like a necessary coronation for someone who has earned it, for someone who has really worked her way up the card impressively quick. I mean, Stephanie Vaquer she is the truth. She is incredibly talented. And having her defeat Io Sky in this fashion, in this kind of match, was really awesome to see. I was kind of anticipating them to wait to crown her until the Royal Rumble and then WrestleMania. Doesn't seem like that's the case. I think this is really awesome for her, and it's very encouraging when it comes to WWE moving their young talent along. This was one of my criticisms. I uploaded a video the other day of that said basically WWE is not moving their young talent along as quickly as they should. Carmelo Hayes is stuck with The Miz. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are with the Vision when they could be moving quicker. And Ilya Dragunov, you'd hope that they'd move quick with him when he returns, but there's no promises. It was called Wrestling's Youth is Being Failed. I do recommend you go check it out. I'll put it up on screen at the end of the video. But this was an example of them bucking that trend. This was an example of them doing something that they honestly haven't done very often, which is crown someone who deserves to be crowned and just moving when they need to move and moving at the pace that they need to move with their young stars. And so the fact that they're doing this quick with Stephanie Vaquer is very, very encouraging to me. I'm so glad that they're not wasting time with her in the mid-card. There's no reason to. I'm glad that we're just putting the crown on her right now. She deserves it. She is supremely great at this, and she is going to be incredible for some time. Okay, the next match we saw was a mixed tag team match. It was AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in a mixed tag team match. This was AJ Lee's return match. This was an interesting one. This was a very, very interesting one. There's a lot to kind of peel back here about this. This match went 29-18, almost 30 minutes, which is kind of insane to think about, that Triple H and team were in the creative room saying to themselves, I would do a Triple H impression here, but I'm not going to do it. They were saying to themselves, what should we give AJ and Punk and Seth and Becky? What time should we give them? And then somebody said, let's go 30 minutes for AJ Lee in her return match. That is insane. That is incredible to me. They actually sat down and said 30 minutes. Yep, 30 minutes. They went 30, and they shouldn't have, because it was extremely overdone, extremely overproduced. They tried too much, they went too long, and I'd imagine that Triple H knows that. Overall, as a whole package, I thought this match worked. I thought it was over with the crowd. The crowd is just infatuated with AJ Lee. They love her so much. She is so over, and she'll remain over for quite some time. So 29-18, way too long. They tried to do too much. There was too many variables in play, too many spots that they tried to do. Again, overproduced, overbooked, but it really did end up working, and it wasn't too much of a detractor. The overproduction of the match really didn't take away too much. AJ Lee, and again, the crowd's infatuation with her in every town, and specifically in Indianapolis at WrestlePalooza, really carried this match and got it from point A to point B relatively smoothly. Again, it wasn't all smooth, but they got the job done. Fun match, I'd say. Probably fun in the crowd, and it definitely seemed so. The crowd had a lot of fun with this. They had a good time, so I'd say this was solid. All right, the next match is Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. It went 17 minutes, 17 seconds. Cody won. This match is weird to me because I think these two are both really, really good at what they do. They're very, very talented, and we all know that. But this match was just missing something. It was just missing some juice. It was missing some punch. It was missing some, like, you can't quite put your finger on it, but it was missing that big fight feel, I think. It was missing something truly to make it feel truly important. It just didn't have that. And so these two had an okay match. I don't think there's anything that sticks out here that's, awful. There's nothing that sticks out that's going to ruin it and that's going to ruin the show. But as a main event, and as far as main events go, for $30, this is not $30. This is not a $30 main event. Again, Drew and Cody, incredibly talented dudes, but they just couldn't quite hit the notes. They couldn't quite speak to the audience on this night, and they didn't quite get it done. I didn't think so. It was missing something. Again, I think there are a lot of people hating on this match in particular more than they should. They're saying it outright sucked. It was terrible. I don't think that's the case. I thought it was fine. That's the thing. It was just fine. It could have been better, and it should have been better because we're paying $30 for this show. So Drew and Cody won, like I said, and it was an okay match. There's not much to say other than this is not a $30 main event. All in all, WWE is asking people to pay $30 for a show that is clearly not worth $30. There is one match here that I would ever revisit, and that's Stephanie and Io. I thought that match tore the house down. I thought they absolutely killed it. Everything else is extremely missable. Everything else is half-baked, thoughtless, and just thrown together, it feels like, except for the mixed tag, but everything else I'd lump in there. Not a $30 pay-per-view. Again, and I said this in regards to the main event, and I think also applies to the show as a whole. A lot of people are saying the show was awful. Like, it sucked. The show was terrible. And if people feel that way, that's fine. I personally don't feel like the show was actively bad, but I will tell you this. I do feel like the show was underwhelming. It was extremely underwhelming, and it was missing some life. It was missing some vibrancy. It was missing something that made it feel truly must-watch and truly important, right? There's some okay stuff here. The mixed tag is like a decent time. Main event is like okay. And Stephanie Vaquera versus Io is a very good and even great match. But as a whole package, the show doesn't come across very well. It doesn't come across as important or must-see. And overall, the energy just feels kind of sucked out of it. So definitely a lot of issues with this show, and the biggest issue is that they're asking people to pay $30 for it, and that's like the 6th or 7th time I've reiterated that point because it's so true. It's so true. This is not a $30 show. If you can, VPN your way to the UK and watch it that way. But if they keep delivering this 5 matches for $30, and the matches are of this caliber, and the show has this kind of energy with this kind of lack of soul rather, then they're not going to see many people tuning in because this is absolutely not worth it. Needs more life, needs more vibrancy, needs to pack more punch, and it needs to feel truly big and must-see. They just did not do that here. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you watching and making it to the end of this video. If you did, please do like and subscribe. That would mean the world to me. It would help my channel get seen by more people. It would help this video get seen by more people. Until next time, guys. See ya.